Gang stalking is becoming a more prevalent phenomenon in today's society, and we will be addressing it today. So, gang stalking can also be referred to as organized harassment, which is the act of using the aid of multiple people to unleash the act of psychological warfare, systematic intimidation, isolation, and discreditation towards a targeted individual, right? And there are many reasons why someone will use gang stalking or organized harassment against a targeted individual, right? So the aim is so that the persons doing this can incite fear so that the targeted individual will not seek justice against the perpetrators, especially if the targeted individual realizes that they have been wronged or breached of their rights in any way, shape, or form, or it is done with the aim to get the targeted individual to be suppressed or repressed, right? And it is also done to cause harm, whether mental harm, psychological harm, spiritual harm, emotional harm, or even physical harm, such as causing the targeted individual to commit suicide. Okay, so that's how deep it goes. There are more things that a targeted individual could go through other than isolation and having people turn against them. So, this is nothing new under the sun, right? We've always been seeing this throughout society, throughout the ages. As a matter of fact, if you have read First Samuel, also known as First Samuel, chapters 18, chapters 19, or chapters 20, you will realize that what happened between Shaul, also known as Saul, and David, also known as David, you would realize that what Shaul did to David is a perfect example of organized harassment. Okay? So I will not be reading those scriptures, especially not today. So you will have to go into them and read it on your own time. I will just be summarizing. The thing that caused Shaul to start attacking David was jealousy, because the people of the let's call it community, right? They were singing songs and they were celebrating the wins of David. And Shaul got jealous, angry, and then started to attack David because of this. So that is where it all started from. Okay, so we notice that through these attacks, it reached to a point where we saw Shaul organizing harassment to attack David with not just the servants that Shaul had around him. It went to the point where Shaul he accused the priests of conspiring with David against him, the king, because one of the priests helped David in some way by giving David some stuff. Okay? This was done without any proof or anything, and because of this, Shaul took the opportunity to kill those priests. Okay, this is my opinion. Because the aim of gang stalking or organized harassment is to suppress or repress the victim, or it is to silence them, drive fear into them. It is my opinion that Shaul blatantly came up with these assumptions, accusations against these priests that they were conspiring with the weed, even though he had no proof, right? So that he could remove from around the weed anyone who had the ability or the intention to help the weed in his time of being attacked. Okay, so I am of the opinion that Shahul systematically knew what he was doing when when he took the lives of these priests, especially without any evidence, any trial, no nothing, and then you accuse these priests of conspiring with the weed against you, right? Because after he had done that, he went and then restarted his journey of seeking to take the life of the weed, spreading the narrative that the weed was trying to conspire and take his life, which the weed gave him no impression in any way, shape, or form throughout these chapters that he had any intention to do that against King Shahul. So, as I said, these things are not a new phenomenon. They are done to target individuals out of either jealousy, covetousness, um, people being their authentic self, and others just want to either take their shine, don't want others to like them because they don't like them, or lots of other reasons that just goes against the commandments of the Most High, which He instructed us as to how to treat our brothers and sisters. We should love them with the same measure that we love ourselves. So you don't go around and making up assumptuous narratives about people to cause others to harm them or to turn against them or to do things against them which are in breach of their rights as a human being, and then try to drive fear into them to get them to not seek justice, or allowing all these things, stalk, using people to stalk them. Okay, these perpetrators will pull people, whether these people know it or not, they either by smear campaigns, by gossip, by repeating word for word verbatim assumptuous claims, false narratives, and lies invented by the perpetrator and spread amongst a community, the gang squad, spread to others to turn others against the targeted individual. And doing this is an act of slandering and bearing false witness against your neighbor, right? Which is breaking a commandment, which is sin, right? And it is also a crime in the court of law because it is violating the rights of somebody when you bear false witness against them, right? Or you use people to stalk them, and you duplicate false narratives and lies against them so that people will turn against them, so that you strip them of much support, right? By doing destiny altering activities against them.